welcome to our first slideshow comics. I'm Coco Fox, and I organized this event, but here tonight we have lots of people from CCS. If anyone's from CCS, can you give a little shout? Yay! And then we have some people who are in the White River Junction area who might not know what CCS is. Can you give a shout? Well, this is where we can mesh. So CCS is a cartoon school. It's a grad school program and a certificate program where you can learn how to draw sweet, sweet, sweet comics. And luckily, I've gotten some amazing cartoonists who have agreed to show some of their comics and just some slideshows. And I have White River Junction cool people who are willing to do this weird presentation that I barely explained to you. Thank you for being so brave and being like, yeah, I'll show my weird video. Yeah, you got it. So let's start with my slideshow. And if anyone was wondering why I'm wearing tattoos, it's because I want to be the tattooed lady, like in a sideshow. Okay. So this is Scrap Bouquet. I own a flower shop. Most of you don't know that because it's not true. But there are a lot of different little cards that everyone makes me write because people send bouquets for all different occasions. And what those customers don't know is that I keep every single card that I have to write for them. And there's some of them are sweet enough to show me their bouquets in their house. So I've made a little scrapbook of all the different bouquets I've ever made and the notes that went with them. So let's look at some together. On the left, thanks for my 6-foot Lego set. That was amazing. I made a huge Lincoln out of it. I'll send you a pic later. End of note. This one. Sorry my iguana barfed in your purse. That was not cool. I mean, look at those roses. It just totally suits it. This one. Thanks for putting a hex on my boss. I don't know if it worked, but it showed you cared. And then this one was from a house sitter. Sorry I took the batteries out of everything in your house. They were mocking me with their science. Very relatable. I was like, oh yeah, I'm so on it. You're going to get 10% off. Okay. Now this one. Thanks for letting me borrow your car for 2 weeks without telling you. Also, here are your keys. I was so glad that they kept the keys in the photo. Context, right? Here's this one. Ooh, look at how beautiful that is. And now listen to this note. I'm sorry I stole your Chewbacca Halloween costume. I used it for sex stuff. Do you still want it back? The answer was yeah. But dry clean it. This one. Oh, this one's so sweet. Thanks for hiding that plastic kangaroo in my pocket. It made my day. So sweet. Everybody take notes. It was so nice. Now, ooh. I'm sorry I played Ouija in your house, and now that old lady ghost won't leave you alone. Very relatable if you live in White River. Thanks for watching every Wes Anderson movie with me while I gave a live stream of consciousness lecture about how he was influenced by the French New Wave. Now, that may or may not have been sent by me. And this one. This is the final one. Sorry I forgot to take out the trash. It attracted rats, and now our apartment is filled with rats. I'm sorry. Please support your local flower shop, and thank you. And now, to follow me, there is an amazing performance by Paul. Let everybody give Paul a round of applause. Paul is from, lives near here in the White River Junction community, and we met at movie night, and I'm so thankful that you wanted to participate. So everybody welcome Paul. We just watched magic. That was freaking awesome. Okay, well, can you do that forever? At every birthday party I have for the next 1,000 years, I'm going to be 1,000 and however old I am. I am so pleased with that. We are getting to do a White River Junction representative who's also loves comics. And then next we get one of our first year students, Ivy, to give a presentation. I'm so excited. And here's a hint. Any film buffs out here? You're going to love this. You're going to love it.
Let's have first slide first.
Sorry, there we go. You didn't see that. Oh, it's only on my screen. You did see it. Good.
George is a guy that does what he loves, and I do what I love. The difference is what George loves makes hundreds of billions of dollars. I was asked by George to come talk to him about directing the third Star Wars, and I had next door to zero interest. But I had always admired George, so I thought I should at least visit him. It was incredible. I had to go to this building in LA first and get a special credit card, and I had to get special keys, and a letter came and a map. I went to the airport and flew up, and they had a rental car all ready for me. You know, everything was set. I was to drive to this place, and I came into an office, and there was George. He talked with me for a bit, and then he said, "I want to show you something." Now, right about this time, I started to get a little bit of a headache. But he took me upstairs, and he showed me many animals and other things. And he showed me these things called Wookiees. And now this headache is getting stronger. Then George took me for a ride in his Ferrari for lunch. George was kind of short, and his seat was way back, so he was almost laying down in the car. And we were flying through this little town in Northern California. We went to a restaurant, not that I don't like salad, but that's all they had was salad. By then I had really almost like a migraine headache. Before I even got home, I kind of crawled into a phone booth and phoned my agent. I told him, "There's no way I can do this." And he said, David, calm down. You don't have to do this." And so George, bless his heart, I called him the next day and told him that he should direct it. I said, "It's your film. You invented everything about it." But he doesn't really love directing, so someone else did direct that film. But I called my lawyer and told him I wasn't going to do it, and he said, "You just lost I don't know how many millions of dollars." But it's okay.
Oh my God. That was so lovely. I am so pleased that we got to have David Lynch come here today. Ivy come here today. That was really beautiful. Did anybody else ever download a David Lynch audiobook just to hear his voice for 2 hours? Was that just me? Coming to this stage, I'm going to wait until the presentation is up so that I know. Yes! If anybody was wondering what youth culture is up to, anybody who was wondering, can you give a quick round of hands? Anybody wondering? Okay, we have our youth representative here, Andres, and we're gonna hear about TikTok for us olds. All right, please welcome to the stage, Andres.
Can I take this off the stand? Can I be difficult?
Oh, yeah, you can do that one too.
Oh, okay.
That's probably better.
Hi, I'm Andres, and I'm hungry for attention. All right, listen up, olds. It's me, local youth. TikTok. Do you know it? No? Here's what it is. How it works. So what I've forgotten to include is the slide that says what TikTok is. TikTok is a short-form video app created by the Chinese that basically made it in America. This is how it works. God, how am I supposed to follow George Lucas? Anyway, okay. You open the app to a randomized video. 5 icons appear beside the video. The first one takes you to the creator's profile. The second one takes you to the likes in the video. The third one takes you to the video's comments. The fourth one, you share the video. The bottom text is the creator. The caption of the video, OMG, I swear every time. The tags in the video, and then the song used in the video. What does this matter, you ask? It doesn't. It just wastes time. You waste time on the endless scroll. The endless scroll of these videos made by depressed Gen Z kids like me. What you like. TikTok uses an algorithm based on what you like. Every video you like will affect what you see on TikTok. It's an endless void of your own opinions. It's all just an exercise in narcissism. I love it. Current TikTok content. I'm so sorry I'm about to show this to you, but it's like the video in The Ring. I have to keep showing it to people, otherwise the girl will catch up with me. For the sake of you olds, I've broken it down into 5 simple categories that even you can understand. Number 1, horny. Horny TikToks feature the creator and pretty much nothing else. They're usually half naked, or they're just in the video, just dancing or doing whatever, trying to get attention. They're all horny, like me. Chico, please click the video. Oh no! No! What did I do?
Chico, you're an old.
I am. I've never been on TikTok before.
What? Get it back.
I don't know how.
Show us these internet boys. Did that make any sense to you? It didn't make sense to me. Chico, you're killing the vibe.
Coming back. Oh, which one of these? My eyesight isn't good enough to. There we go.
Is it gonna do this? Is it gonna do this for every video? Fuck. Okay. Can you go to the? Oh wait, I have it. It's gonna do it for every video. Just keep requesting access. We're gonna get through this. God damn it. I don't know PowerPoint. That's an old. Okay, hold on.
While this is happening, everyone, we planned this. It's like a brief intermission for everyone to be uncomfortable. So while I have you and I have a microphone in my hand, I'm gonna spitball some celebrity bug-related puns. Okay, and feel free to raise your hand and add some. All right, Leonardo the Caterpillar. Susan B. Anthony. Bzz. Yeah, Susan. If you don't think Susan B. Anthony is a celebrity, this is the wrong show. What other ones? Yes, tell me.
Harriet Bugman.
Harriet Bugman. I can see your line of logic for sure. Okay.
Ladybug Gaga.
Oh, Ladybug Gaga. That's amazing. Jagged little pill bug. It's not a person, but I like it. Go ahead.
Insector Gadget.
Insector Gadget. That is so good.
James Earwig Jones.
James Earwig Jones. I love that one. Oh, did any of you see The Help? Yes. Octavia Spider instead of Octavia Spencer. What up?
David Hasselhoff.
David Hasselhoff is so good.
Steve McQueen B.
Steve McQueen B is so good. Corinne.
Sherlock Roach.
Sherlock Roach. Classic. Sherlock Roach? Sherlock Roach. Got it. It took a second. Guys. How are we doing on the TikToks? Don't worry, my brain works really fast, and I'll think of more by the time I finish this long sentence that just continues to go, and no one ever knows where it's going. Are we back to TikTok? Yay! Back to the youth.
It's me. Edgy TikToks are something you won't understand, because it's youth humor. Chico, click the video. Wow. Riveting. Edgy TikToks don't really make any sense. That's kind of the point. It's edgy. It's cool. Next, we have stupid TikToks. Stupid TikToks, the creator's doing something reckless and dangerous. It's a lot of fun. They're usually referencing past memes. Power. Next, we have depressed TikToks. Depressed TikToks are great.
Maybe she's born with it. Or maybe, just maybe, it's mental illness, isn't it?
I personally have never been to England, but I'm in love with the culture. Finally, we have aesthetic TikToks. Aesthetic TikToks are probably the ones that require the most effort, which is why you will not see me making them.
All the girls are on me. Damn, everybody pay attention. This right here is my pretty boy swing.
Wow. That was aesthetic. Anyway, this is my TikTok alignment, and this has been a presentation on youth culture. If you'd like to learn more about youth culture, find a time machine or age backwards. Thank you.
Oh man, I want to call my parents and tell them I love them. That was really beautiful. And if you're not already following Andres on TikTok, you should throw your phone into the ocean. Because you don't even need it anymore. This is too stressful. Man, and next we have Sophie coming to the stage to give our little sweet, sweet presentation. So please give it up for Sophie.
This is fine, yes. Hi, this is kind of short. Coco's shorter than me. I'm Sophie. Yeah, I work at Cover down the street. Yeah. And this is my art. I make books on occasion. And this is a Japanese-bound book. It's sorry, it's a really different vibe. I'm standing up straight and not laughing at TikToks. Yeah, so Japanese books are bound with the the traditional Japanese books, bound with the fold on the outside. So there's like this inner space where there's weird stuff going on. And so I put embroidery on the pages and also naked people. And this is, I'm going to tell a story. It's not related, so feel free to think of a different story. Anyway, this is bind. In 8th grade, I bought a pair of shoes. They were for my graduation from middle school to high school, and they were a pair of like strappy red sandals. They said made in Italy on the tag, so they were super fancy. And when my mom saw me, she said, "You look like a whore." And I didn't really know what that meant, even though I was top of my class, 8th grade. And I still don't really know what that means. I mean, what do shoes have to do with sex? And what did sex have to do with 13-year-old me? I don't know. Sometimes I go on porn sites and search for the answers. I didn't find out what sex was until after it happened to me a few times, you know? But thankfully, there are mostly just women involved and not little girls in red shoes. The end.
That was so beautiful. Oh my gosh. Please come to cartoon school. I'm now making myself tall. I'm so sorry, but I didn't do this before you got up. That was so gorgeous and makes me think of all the shoes that I wear. I'm wearing a new pair of shoes right now. Oh, nice. Nice. Yeah, it'll be revealed later when I know someone's giving a long presentation. I have an outfit change that just got spoiled. Thanks. No, oh my God, not even. Yes, it was more of a reveal that will be revealed later. And now is Chico, are you ready to give your presentation? Great. Everybody, let's give one big round of applause to Chico because he's running the whole show tonight. So thank you so much, Chico. Chico and I play basketball together, and he's so much taller than me. And sometimes when I'm guarding him, I get hit with his beard, which is, I don't know if you guys have known pleasure, but that is wonderful to get hit in the face with a sweaty beard. Anyway, but I'm not very good at basketball, so I usually just am behind. Here you go.
Thank you. I brought my emotional support welder. He's trained to respond to if I start crying uncontrollably. He's trained to weld something that will make me forget about why I'm sad. All right. This is actually a what's it called? A storyboard for a short film I wanted to make but haven't, and wasn't intending to ever like show it as part of a presentation to a crowd of people. So the drawings aren't very good because I'm also not very good at drawing. And at parts I got lazy and just stole pictures off the internet and used those instead. So here we go. Detective Comics, number 43. Batman was staying up late in his living room, later than usual, so it was early morning. He was worrying about getting old, looking at the wrinkles on the backs of his knuckles. A fat stack of 20 sat at his side. It had been there so long, he'd forgotten why he put it there in the first place. Though it was summer, he found himself next to his enormous fireplace, which he used to stare into for long hours as a child, wondering if fire was the liquid state of wood. It was extinguished and hadn't been in use for quite some time now. The Monet that resided above the mantel seemed dull and lifeless in the pale morning light. Batman had spent his night picturing fields of freshly cut wheat as he sat in the shadows of the factory warehouse. The commands of the Riddler fell on deaf ears, for Batman had his Beats by Dre headphones on, tapping his toe rhythmically inside his boot to the radio broadcast playing off of his iPod. He knew that it was a bit of a Luddite fallacy to listen to the radio on such a piece of technology, radio being a dying medium, outdated by current modes of communication. But it comforted him, knowing that nearby there was a station broadcasting news and stories of him and for him and of the people around him and of them. He thought of radio waves as being part of the landscape, even though they could not be seen. Batman much appreciated landscapes and classical paintings of landscapes. He'd been brought up to appreciate art of that sort. Idyllic renderings of places far away that never changed, no matter how bad things got. The Riddler was now yelling at the top of his lungs, trying to get Batman's attention. He was a bully. If everyone, including Batman, paid him no attention, he'd simply go away to contemplate his loneliness. Or maybe he would have sought out a fulfilling career, or at least kept his opinions to himself. Batman was also a bully, but a bully of bullies. He was the lifetime equivalent of that guy at parties who says, "Not cool, bro. Not cool." Alfred had been out on a date the night previous and had brought his date home. They'd made an awful mess in the kitchen. Batman found it ironic that such a mess should arise from a man whose sole purpose was to make Batman's life easier. That also led him to dwell on the time he'd encountered Man-Bat, the man who was half bat, and how unironic, how simply atrociously unironic Man-Bat was as an adversary for Batman. He had won. Batman always won, which made him sometimes feel as if that was all, it was all an elaborate setup to bolster his ego, as if he was stuck at a never-ending child's birthday party. He hadn't thought of Man-Bat for a number of years, and it made him feel sad. Batman imagined writing him a letter to bury the hatchet and make amends. This daydream made Batman feel proud of being such a caring guy, enough so that he would never actually write Man-Bat a letter. Batman pulled out his laptop and went to eBay to find things he'd like to buy, but couldn't think of anything that he wanted that he didn't already have. So he decided to buy a present for his cousin Lou. He hadn't seen Lou for years and was having a hard time imagining what Lou may want. Some valuable stones, an antique car, an ultrasonic self-cleaning toothbrush. What was Lou like? What did Lou even look like? Batman couldn't think of his beloved cousin's face. They'd been so close as children, and now he couldn't even remember what he looked like. Batman put the laptop aside, feeling sad and hungry, knowing the world's greatest detective could only solve one of those problems. At the store, he was buying some lemon-flavored seltzer. This was years later now. The girl at the counter handed him his change, and he purposely brushed his hand against hers because he yearned for the feeling of human contact. He thought he could do this in such a subtle way that she wouldn't notice, but she did. She always did, because Batman came there frequently, would always pull the same stupid trick. She found it annoying. Didn't even realize she was the same checkout clerk week after week. Batman became aware of this feeling and accidentally said out loud, "To hell with her!" She said, "Excuse me?" He felt embarrassed and said, "I'm sorry." Oh, I'm on the wrong slide. How long has that been going on? Nobody told me. Everyone was looking at him. I didn't mean it. She told him it was all right and not to worry about it, even though she knew full well that he would worry about it, and to her it was not all right. She was a big fat liar, and she knew it, but had come around to terms with it years ago, and her life seemed to be going pretty much okay. Outside the grocery store, Batman sat at the side of the road thumbing for a ride, but nobody was stopping to pick up a man entirely clad in leather and knives. The timing belt on his car had blown. He reprimanded himself over and over again for not changing it. He knew it was long overdue, but he had done nothing, putting it off for an extraordinarily long time. He thought, how can I, the greatest supervillain fighting hero of all time, be so incompetent when it comes to scheduling the maintenance on my cool-ass car? You can't be the best at everything all the time, he thought. The only thing you can be good at is just being yourself. And Batman wasn't even that most of the time. Thank you.
And a second-year student, and actually we'll need the help of a few more CCS students to give their presentation. But actually that was next. So here, welcome to the stage, Izzy.
So it'll start a little serious, but I promise it will get fun. Oh wait, there we go. $50,000 is approximately the student debt I will have when I graduate my MFA. I am already 30, and this will be my second time paying off student loan debt. I wish all my debt was paid off. Lately, it's hard to imagine graduating and owing around $400 a month for 15 years. If I have to work all the time to pay the loans, will I even have time to make art? My uncertainty morphs into anxiety against the backdrop of a fraught discussion about the student debt crisis, especially in relation to the high-cost, low-return investment of an MFA. Politicians, $100,000 in debt for the crime of getting an education? Allegations of unethical lending practices, think pieces, MFAs, an increasingly popular bad financial decision, and metaphors of desperation, drowning in student debt. Being forewarned of the significant risk of going into debt for an MFA and doing it anyway can make you feel guilty, stupid, isolated. Art school. Don't do it. You will be broke forever. So, as a personal project under the guise of a research assignment, I tried to find people to ask about living with MFA debt. I'm not a sociologist, and I won't claim my research is exhaustive. Nevertheless, their responses mean a lot to me, and maybe they will mean something to you. So, my special guests. So these are the results of my very thorough research. Like me, most people cited their passion for art making and a desire to improve as their motivation to pursue an arts degree. Most people were working jobs outside of their art form to pay bills during their loan period. A few had financial help from family post-graduation.
Thank you, parents. I can never repay you.
Others qualified for reduced or deferred payments based on income. The majority were still able to make some time for art making.
10 hours a week, 20 hours a week, 2 hours, 1 day, 2 to 3 studio days?
But most conceded it wasn't enough time, mostly due to hours spent earning income. Unfinished art. Many felt overworked. Most notably, nearly everyone attributed negative emotional and quality of life impacts to their debt. Many described experiencing stress and doubt, even existential ambivalence, confronting enormous art school loans.
So much stress and dread.
At some point, I just stopped caring. I'll pay it off and just die with a large unpaid debt.
I'm not able to move out till I make enough to get ahead on my loans. This affects all areas of my life and future plans.
I'd never have anybody left over after paying rent and bills.
It made me very anxious taking on the debt. I nearly dropped out of school. Then I thought of it in terms of a car loan. The education would take me further than a car, right?
Others shared how debt created anxiety and uncertainty in relation to their future.
I worry about never being able to pay this off and not being able to fulfill my other dreams.
The idea of having to pay $200 a month for many years ahead is a bit daunting. It makes me wonder if I could ever afford a child or send them to school.
I feel like my existence is balanced on the edge of a knife. I'm just making it now, but if anything changes, I have no idea what to do. I can't picture the future and it scares me.
I often don't have health insurance, and if I do, it's a toss-up whether I'll get a good specialist. Every choice I make has that debt in mind.
Some desired greater financial transparency around wealth and debt, especially from their peers.
I didn't realize how much health I grew up around. I thought everyone was accruing a lot of debt like me.
When I was first out of school, I couldn't figure out why my classmates seemed much less worried about money than I was. Realizing how many people had help with financial burdens can ease a psychological burden.
Every person who qualified for income-based repayment expressed deep frustration that interest kept accruing on their loan even when they were deemed unable to afford payments. Those are interest bunnies.
$64,000 after graduation, 0 income-based repayments with accruing interest, a word which I just learned, none paid off, and it's up to $75,000. $50,000 paid off none, gained $18,000 interest since graduation.
I don't make enough money to make payments, but that means I'm probably just putting off a much bigger impact later.
The income-based plan will supposedly disappear my debt in 20 years. The truth is that they count debt forgiven as income, so that year I will owe tax on 70,000K. I mean 70K.
The program prioritized interest. My payments weren't touching the principal at all, so a low-income person cannot make headway on student loans.
Only one person described taking part in a program that actually helped them disappear their debt. A teacher qualifying for loan forgiveness after working 5 years in a public school. I'm comforted by the stories people shared about their art school debt, by their drive to continue making art, but maybe even more by the feeling of solidarity. I believe education should be free and student debt forgiven. Congrats, class of 2028, debt-free. Until then, transparency around debt and financial privilege could have radical implications. Sharing resources and building financial literacy, destigmatizing talk about money and debt shame, groundwork for future organizing. I hope artists don't internalize guilt or shame in relation to their art school debt, or anyone who has any debt. Delinquent loans, multiple jobs, doesn't get paid for art, limited time for art making. And that anyone who cares about art is concerned about the prohibitive cost of an MFA. Doesn't society suffer if only the wealthy can access arts education and time for art making? Upper class ennui autobiocomics. Wouldn't art be boring? The end. Thank you.
Oh my goodness. I am afraid for the future. Somebody is in their second year of art school, and it's me and most of the people in this room. Before I introduce our next guest, I wondered if you guys wanted to participate in a little thing with me right now. Are you in? Yeah. Okay, I need you guys to snap. Like, I made myself a snowball, as perfect as can be. I thought I'd keep it as a pet, let it sleep with me. I made it some pajamas and a pillow for its head. Last night it ran away, but first it wet the bed. That is Shel Silverstein's Snowball. And do you guys hear that? Ring, 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 ring.
I will read to you something that I said on a phone call once. To someone I had a crush on. Oh, it's very hard. I was using a different phone, like Flatter. But I am one of the olds. I didn't know what TikTok was. I had it. Okay. I thought it looked really easy until the rehearsal. Lose your bearings. אני מתנצל, זה משגע אותי. יש לי בעיה עם החדר הזה, עם המבנה של החדר הזה. כן, זה החדר הזה. There's a moment where the hands have to almost touch. You have to rehearse it a lot. The most difficult part is not to overdo it, to enjoy the moment, to feel like you're calm. I watch them. There are 16 ladies, 5 solo couples, 5 principal couples. Because I wanted to learn. The most important thing is to always learn from each other. The intensity it demands, like shot out of a cannon. Mentally, it's a challenge to know the steps. You really have to count it. You have to be as graceful as well as angular. How difficult it is to have absolute awareness, conscious of all your body parts. While you're digging Lincoln Park to bury your body, you're going to find someone else. Really, my uncle's body was found in Lincoln Park. Looks like a foot. Asking questions exposes weakness in the narratives. I've never been inside that girl's car before. I just watched NPR. Listen. She ordered a student in broken English, do interview. The new student was interviewed without informing the reporter that the student had no experience in dance. No experience in impossible positions, and no experience in car accidents. Trying to come up with a story quickly, I'll always remember how he was on that day he was trying to get rid of her. What if he's this amazing sociopath? She dead, come and get me, that was the call. I'm looking at a train racing the horizon, and it's actually racing the horizon, and Liana, the train's biographer, with her notebook, storybook, and red lace gloves, and I open my arms, and if I'm in a place where I hear the music, I hear my music, and I can't open my arms, I usually begin to cry. The corners, Liana, and then the man who laughed at the feet. The museum conjuring the men we talked about outside, because inside it's just us. Like the Bayer tapestry, but with teachers. The things I did with my teachers, let's see. My mom gave me cookies in the living room. I was not allowed. He took me to a dinosaur museum. He set up a room for me with a Popeye pillow and his cat. I picked out shirts for him. I crawled on the floor to open the door at midnight so he won't hear I'm home. I cried. I danced in Margaret's bedroom. I drove around in circles. I smoked in my grandmother's living room while she was away, and I let him smoke weed. And I gave him an ashtray. I hitchhiked with my professors. I picked him up at the airport. I saw him hit and run some cars. I gave dumplings to, got set up, met after a break. The button he presses to the top floor, the light humming in the ceiling, the light that goes out in his eyes, the glare of the computer screen, the fake bulbs in the chandelier. Up. Babysat his bunnies, extinguished a fire, visited, asked a question, shot a firework gun, gave him my firework gun license, spoke on the phone. I said, "Hello, tower." Got tricked. Students reenact his classes at night. On his break, he eats his sandwiches behind a desk while fixing his eyes on the ceiling, so each bite expands to the size of a tile. The growth of his hair and fingernails was visible to all and unnaturally rapid. He hides locks of his hair around campus, so at least parts of him will keep still. He fell in love on her on the day she was absent from his class because he called out her name from the attendance sheets 4 times in a row, and he couldn't stop. I treat all the pilots who were spat up, shaken up like salt from a stopping plane. They made a pact to exchange coats with each other every time they meet. Nose hits runway, she forgets what she was wearing when she falls, and it makes it harder to get up. The river in his desk drawer is too close. Are her sleeve rolled up? Are her pants? Once I was talking to someone. He said he knows a game, dream guessing. He said, "Start asking me about my latest dream. I will answer only yes or no." Then after 30 questions, I got nowhere close to knowing what his dream was about, but he knew what mine was about. Monotonal and hilariously funny, 50 hours to listen to you read. They're all waiting to see how you're gonna use spinach, they know you're gonna do it. Oh, sorry. Wait. Can you play something on YouTube?
Oh, good. Keep the music on. This is perfect. Wait, that was incredible. Great job. One more round for Corinne. One of my favorite cartoonists happened to go to my school before I got there. And every single time she comes out with one of these comics, I buy it like immediately and then wish that I wrote like that. Anybody else understand this about Daryl? So this is a selection of comics from Daryl. Please come to the stage. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Daryl. I'm 13 years old. I'm trying not to smile because I just got braces and they look like shit, so... Also, my hair is like curly because my mom took away my flat iron. So I left it on for 3 days. It's not like the house is gonna burn down. Whatever. So I'm gonna read my diary. It's called Missy. So middle school Missy. This diary belongs to Daryl Sidechick. That's me, so fuck off. September 6, 2003. Lots of shit happened. I got my braces and they suck major monkey ass. My lips are huge. Oh, whoops. I memorized it. Smile. My lips are huge now from all the damn swelling. How I'm supposed to make out with these on, I don't know. Anyway, the first day of school was awesome compared to other first days. Beth is in my animation class, and it's awesome. We're the only fucking girls. LOL. Plus, we have spinny chairs. Need I say more? BRB, I need to knit. Ugh. It's so gorgeous out. This is so annoying. I want to go outside, but what am I gonna do there? October 7th, 2003. I got a Spanish test tomorrow and mom wants me to study, so hola. Me llamo Daryl. Yo como pizza. Yo tengo una hermana idiota. Yo juego al icy tower. Super. Madre. Upstairs now. Pero. November 19th, 2003. So today, I go to the bathroom and see something on my brand new thong. No! This is the moment I've been dreading for years. I just put on a pad and it feels like a diaper. There's no way I'm telling mom. God, this is hell. I heard that after you get your period, you're only allowed to grow for like 1 more year. I better grow a damn lot. Ugh. And of all days, I decided to wear white pants tomorrow. Shit, I hate this. Anyway, gotta go enjoy my fucking womanhood. December 31st, 2003, the last day of 2003. I, Daryl Seichik, hereby swear that I will make out on New Year's. Or else, I will wear my hair curly for 2 full weeks. January 6th, 2004. Oh my God. I need to stop picking my split ends and saying, oh my God. I haven't talked to Scruffy in a while. I think we're drifting. Kind of like me with a lot of other people. Josh is now a total dickhead. Mara is Miss Popular. Steve is super emo all of a sudden. Rose and Betsy haven't changed, still fighting over singing solos. And I hardly ever talk to Tish and Maddie anymore. One day, I may forget who all these people are. I'll never forget Scruffy, though. Splash. Splish. The end. For the record, this GIF my stepdad made while I was in 8th grade, and then he would make it his screensaver whenever we were in a fight. So, thank you.
Oh my gosh. I'm so glad I didn't know you then. You would have ripped me apart. It was amazing. And a great example of one of our CCS alums, by the way, living here. Pretty awesome. And followed by Josh, one of our White River Junction friends. Right, weirdos. I can use weirdos. Okay, White River Junction weirdos. But before Josh gets to the stage, I wonder, did anybody ever see Mrs. Doubtfire? Yes. Yeah. I'm obsessed with some rhymes in that I'm gonna say to you now. I eat wood, no, 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 no. It tastes good, no, 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 no. No meat, big feet. I eat wood. Josh.
Hi, I'm Josh. I just want to real quick thank Coco for putting this together and Chico for running the tech all evening. This is a really lovely event, and y'all are all stupid talented and really funny, and I am not funny, but I do make animations sometimes, so let's watch a few of them. They're harsh bummers. It'll be great. This one's called Honey Dripper. I make animations that say I don't currently do drugs, but I used to do a lot of drugs. And I want to show one more. Yeah, Extinction. I'll show this one. This one's really, really old. Enjoy.
There is only one of me, the half-bird man. And the men are confused because I was to die 10 years ago. They have graphs and a timetable, but I keep burning them. The papers they give to my wife saying, Walter Anderson, dementia praecox, recurring delusions, self as bird, self as God, self as father, catatonic, manic episodes. These papers are a code, meaning, why is he still alive? This species no longer exists. Make the anomaly disappear. Wings are inside my body. It's why I'm so itchy. Truth in X-ray. Sometimes I am a zoo filled with angry mammals. It's why I mutter and my heart beats fast and I claw at you. My wings are grown together. Stop calling them ribs. These are not ribs. These are my wings. Just give me a knife. I will show you when I am open. If I could just get to my wings, I would have lift. Leave here. Please, don't sigh and lock the windows.
I also came of age during the emo generation, can you tell? So, yeah, cool. I'm just going to show those two. So, thank you so much. This is really great.
That was beautiful. Oh, my goodness. I wanted to do another Robin Williams themed dinosaur rap, so Extinction is like perfect. Thank you for that layup. Here it is. I'm the raptor, doing what I can, gonna eat everything to the appearance of man. Yo-yo, ladies, I lay below the soil. I'll be back, but I'm coming as oil. Thank you. And up next is Natalie, but I think something's happening with the, oh, everybody give it up for Natalie. Ready?
last diary reading, that was from the year after this. So we're going back to younger me, 16-year-old me, which is what I dressed as my 16-year-old self. And I think what's important to note before we get started is that even though I was like a highly sexualized human, I'd never kissed anyone before. But I would lie about that. So I would say that, of course, I've made out with a bunch of people, but I hadn't yet. So our first entry is going to be about that first kiss. But also, similar context, I wasn't having a good time. I was actually hospitalized, and here are a lot of my like hospital records. And so that was just like a big bummer, but I dealt with that by trying to have as much fun as I could when I wasn't in the hospital. So I started school. I went back to oh, these are things I drew when I was in the hospital. And they're in this diary here. It's all original art, except some of the images you'll probably be able to tell. Some of them are I put in later. But now for the funny stuff. Last night was slightly stupid. We were pretty early, and the opening band took forever to come on. When they did, though, they actually sucked, but oh well. So we were standing in front of these guys who were smoking a blunt. So obviously I got some of that. And then one kid started just like rubbing up against me, and then I felt someone's hands going down my thighs, and I thought it was him, but it was actually his friend. So then he flipped at his friend, which was funny. But then the kid got hard on me, and I was like, oh wow. But there was this guy squishing Olivia with his back, so her face was like mashed up against him. So I made Sophie and Christian watch, and then I licked the guy's back. And he was just a little creeped out. Haha. Then Olivia needed a drink, so Christian and I went with her to the bar. But then we were trying to get back to the floor, so we were able to get almost there. We at least got in front of one of the rails, but we got completely stuck in front of these guys. So I was pretty blazed already. So I just had to kind of be up against this guy behind me. I just made sure my back was always touching his chest and my ass was against his dick. So then his friend, who was on Olivia, lit a joint. So I just did what I always do. I reached out and I stroked his arm and hand while he was taking a hit. And then I smiled, so of course he passed it to me. Smiley face. We passed it around until it was all gone, and I think we might have even done another one. I don't remember. So then the kid behind me started doing what the other kid from earlier had been doing, like grinding without his hands. So I was like, what the fuck? Plus, I was just fucking blazed by now. So I just reached down and grabbed his hands and put them on me. At first, he just had them on my hips/thighs, which wasn't that exciting. So I could barely feel it. So then I started leaning my head back, and rubbing my face against the side of his face. And he was just like so responsive to everything I do. Because when I'd press my face to his, he would move his hands up to my stomach. I was wearing a midriff top, so it felt so good on my skin. And I was just like, oh shit, when I have sex, I'm gonna orgasm so easily. Ha ha. But I was so stoned. I think it made me grind better because I was like in this other world where I was like half asleep, but I could feel everything he was doing. And I kept turning my head more until I could feel his breath on me. And then his mouth was partly open. I think Collie Man was playing. There it is. It's playing. And I turned around, and there's this one moment where I was like, whoa, this is it. And then we were making out. It was really different than I thought it was gonna be. It was more like, it wasn't like kissing, it was like sucking. And there was like no space in our mouths, and it was just wetness and tongues, and it just filled every space. We were still kind of grinding front Avi, and he had his hand just grabbing my ass, and I was just like holding on to him. But it was weird because like you could just keep going forever. We started towards the beginning of when Slightly Stupid came on and kept going until the show ended at midnight. So it was over an hour and it never got boring. I moved my hands on his neck and he held me tighter. And it was so great because in between songs, I would just rest my head against his chest and he would hold me so tight and I never wanted to leave. We were right up on one of the rails looking towards the back and I was like pushing him up against it. I could actually feel his dick pulsing against me and I could feel the squish of it. And he would do these things with his tongue and make it hard and soft, and I would twirl mine around his and like suck on his. But since we were up against the rail, there were all these people who were just watching us when I opened my eyes for a peek. But I just never wanted it to stop. I never even got a really good look at his face. He was pretty hot from what I saw, but you could tell he had a really bad skin. But I really didn't care because it didn't matter what he looked like, just what he did. The thing was, the only thing we said was goodbye. But that was okay. He was probably 18 or 19, and I miss him. But for some reason, I feel okay about that. Heart, mwah, XXXX. All right. But there's a couple short ones there. All right. So yesterday was Easter, and I basically fucked that up by, you guessed it, getting fucked up. Yay! Oh my God. I was gonna come home and do homework, but Sophie was locked out of the house, so she had to come over. She actually wanted to walk the dogs, so I was like, yeah, sure. But being the highly intelligent person I am, I decided to bring one of the joints I had left over. So we walked down to the beach, and we were talking, but then Sophie invited my neighbor, Jackson Martin, who she's really close to, came and smoked with us. Basically, he's really super hot, and I liked him kind of since 8th grade. So he picked us up, and we drove around and hotboxed, which was the dumbest thing ever because we had the dogs, ... Wow. So when we got home, we were blazed, and Duke stunk. So you can imagine how pleased Mom and Dad were. They didn't even know what to say. But just then, Alex, my sister, decides to drop the news that we actually have Easter baskets, and we have to look for them right now. I was really sad having to do such an innocent activity while under the influence of illegal substances. I felt really bad though, but Mom made me wash Dookie because he smelled so bad. Oops. He was pretty stoned, which also made me feel terrible. All right, last one. Fuck me, I am so burnout right now. So last night, I went out with Zach to a party at Charlie's house. It's Sophie. The night started out so fucking good, too. So then we go to the house, skip a little bit because it's boring. So then from then on, it blew. Like, we get there and I'm just like, well, fuck me. It's my whole fucking school, complete with all the little soccer girls wearing fancy schmancy little skirts and giggling. So I had 2 Bud Lights and a couple of sips of some shit cream thing Max had. But even though it did suck really bad because there was no fucking music, Sophie could not have complained more. Like, I know she doesn't like beer and she really wanted to smoke, but sometimes you have to get over it and stop being such a little princess bitch. So then we're like at the party for a bit. So Sophie was bitching about having to call her mom, and I was so done. So I found Zach, who was finally getting around to rolling a blunt, and I told him we're gonna bounce. He was kind of sad because I know he had been excited about me coming, but whatever. I'm sure he was fine. So I was a little messed up when we left, and we were trying to figure out where we were, but we made it back to Thayer Street where we met Bugsy, also what I called my sister, and got to take one of her boxes of double stuffed Oreos and her keys to her dorm because we were going to sleep there. But of course, Sophie couldn't quit her complaining because she wanted weed. So after we got lollipops, we went on a search to make friends where we passed 3 guys who go, I like your lollipops, and a biker gang where one of the guys goes, I'd fuck that. So we spotted some Guidos that looked like they might be able to aid us in our quest. So because Sophie was being a pussy, I went up to them and I was like, I have a question. And this one guy was like, no, we don't fuck around with that shit. Just shrooms, man. And I was like, I feel you, but do you have any weed? So then this nasty guy is like, yeah, I've got a blunt rolled, but what are you gonna do for us? And I just looked at him and I raised my cookies and I went, double stuffed. And all the guys were like, oh shit, man. So then he's like, all right, $15, but it's in my car. And he started walking and like motioning us to follow, but I gave him like a sassy Beyonce finger point and was like, nice try, but not a chance, haha. But then he was like, what, you want me to bring it to you? And I was like, mm-hmm. So then he left and Sophie went to go get change and I was just chilling there with them. And one asked what school I went to. And I was like, high school. And he was like, oh shit, you a senior? And I was like, nope. I'm a sophomore. Woohoo! So basically it was hilarious. And we smoked like half of it, but literally it like couldn't have been weed because I was so messed up. And we went to Ben & Jerry's and I almost blacked out. But Sophie literally turned into a turbo bitch because she started yelling at me about how what an idiot I was and plain out laughing at me. So I just like shut down. And then that was when I started to like lose it. So I realize now those were some pretty bad decisions. But I did get to see my boy, Zach, and I'm mad fucked up now and already got invited to another party. So woohoo, heart, Boris.
Oh my God. I'm so glad you came back for another edition of Natalie's Diary. Okay, how awesome has tonight been? So, if you're interested, I'm going to keep putting these on. It's like a talent show with all these people you kind of know, kind of don't know. It's great. But the last thing we're going to do is everybody stand up. Chico, are we good to go?